Hello everyone, welcome back to Sports Today, and we are coming to you with a bit of a breaking news, and it's unfortunate news in some ways, but it's concerning the Indian women cricketers, and particularly Indian women cricketers who will be traveling to Birmingham, England for the Commonwealth Games. Now, there's been a slight glitch in terms of their travel plans because it turns out that there are 8 women's cricketers who are still awaiting getting their visa for England. Obviously, that's not an ideal circumstance given the fact that the Commonwealth Games will be, in fact, starting in less than a week's time. Remember, today is the 22nd, the Games are due to start from 28th. So, again, hardly ideal preparations in that regard that these women's cricketers are still waiting for their visas to get to England. So obviously it's not, as I said, it's not ideal, and it's in fact been pending ever since they put in their applications for said visa quite a while back. But that is, of course, we at Sports Today and Sports Tech are getting to know that this is in fact it's a problem that those visas still haven't been approved, and there are 8 players in particular whose names we do not as of yet know and cannot disclose, who are waiting for that visa, and they're still waiting for obviously to be able to travel to England. As I said, hardly ideal considering there's less than a week left for the Commonwealth Games in that regard. So the hope as of now is that this visa will be approved. All of these visas will be approved by the end of today or sooner, or as soon as possible. But again, it's hardly an ideal preparation because, again, remember, women's cricket, this is going to be the first time that women's cricket will be part of the Commonwealth Games in its entire history. So, and obviously India would be hopeful that the women cricketers who have done very well in international tournaments, of course, you could say that they haven't won an ICC tournament, but in general, the team has improved leaps and bounds over the past few years, ever since, you could argue, 2017 types. So the team has shown a lot of growth, but they would have wanted the players to have been there sooner so that they can get their preparation right. Unfortunately, that's not quite going to be the case this time around because, again, these players are still waiting for their visa. So it seems a little unlikely, obviously, is that they are going to be hopeful for a quick resolution. And in fact, the BCCI is also in touch with all of the concerned authorities. They're also in touch with the IOA, and they're also keeping in touch with what is happening, and they're also talking to the Commonwealth Games organizing committee too. So obviously there's a lot of greasing of the wheels that is potentially taking place behind the scenes in the hopes that the Indian players can get their visas sorted soon. But there's also contingency preparations being made for a worst case scenario because they're also in touch with the CWG committees who are organizing it as well. So again, hardly an ideal situation when you look at it that way. I had a question from Diwakar Prakash asking who are these 8 players. Diwakar, that is information that we are unable to divulge at this point. When we know, I promise you guys, you will know as well who these 8 players are. But regardless of what the names of the players are in this case, it's not an ideal situation that you have 8 players who are still waiting for their visas and thus can't travel out. Again, as I said, hardly, it's not the way you'd want to be preparing, considering that for the first time this time around the Commonwealth Games is going to be having women's cricket. You want the players to get there, acclimatize to conditions, be in preparation mode, in competition mode, and as of now they're not even kind of even there. So never mind competition mode. Right now, the first worry for them would be is can they even make it to the competition? And of course, I'm sure that what is happening in the background will eventually make things easier for them in that regard. But as I said, this is not how most of them would have been wanting to start their preparation for what is supposed to be, and what many would hope would be a medal hope when it comes to the India contingent. So again, hardly ideal, but that's the breaking news that we have for you. Thank you all so much for joining us. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment on the video, tap the bell icon, last but not least, so that you know every single time we're going live or uploading a video from you guys. Again, as always, I'm Shane Dias. Thank you all so much for joining us. Bye bye for now.